Hi, so I'm just making another video to show another project that I'm working on, which is with this cat character that I have. Uh, the game is, I guess you're just playing as a kind of a witch's cat, and so you can use magic and stuff. You also have uh, some different weapons. So this is, unlike my other game, a little bit more like DMC control-wise, closer to DMC 3, because you've got like this claw weapon, and not really a weapon, just your claws, but your feet are kind of glowing. You also got this sort of a sword thing. It's really a bowline, but you got some different moves off of that. You also have this book that you can kind of see on the side there. It opens for magic attacks, and you can switch between the lightning and ice ones. So a little bit more like Devil May Cry in that regard. I guess to just kind of go over some movesets here. You've got just a basic 3-hit combo off of that, the claws. You've got kind of a stinger, sort of, but it hits twice. So you hit and then hits again that knocks back. You also have this sort of a flash kick, and that'll launch them up. If you hold the button, you actually do a second kick, and you can use it in the air too. So actually turn off damage too, so I don't kill things. So you can do another kick, an extra kick in the air. And let's see, so there are 2 attack buttons. Well, 3 if you count shoot. So basically, again, primary and secondary attack, sort of. So it's more like, with this weapon, it's more like Royal Guard. So it's sort of like the style button for DMC, except that instead of really being a style button, it's more like just a sword master button. But it also doubles as Royal Guard when you have this weapon equipped. So if I turn AI back on, you can guard their attacks. So you got these little ghosts, just kind of cute looking things, and so they got a projectile, that spike move, that lunge, just those 3 moves for now. You do also have Royal Release, just like Dante. Also, you do use lock-on for inputs, so you can see that while you're moving, you stay facing the target that you're locked onto, and you can only walk. You can't run while you're locked on. So if I remove lock on, I can just run around. And so it's like DMC. Let's turn AI back off. So again, the stinger, like this move and the flash kick, these are, so it's hold lock on and forward attack to do that, and then it's backward to do the flash kick. So basically it's DMC inputs. You also have this kind of like, it's not real impact, but it's basically just a really long startup, and it hits hard, and it has a lot of hit stop like that. But the secondary attack button, which is just, Royal Guard button for holding it down. Forward is release or counter, kind of like Royal Release in DMC, and then holding back and doing it is that move. And in the air, Just pressing the attack button will do that. And yes, you can jump cancel it too. There is enemy step in this game too. And oh yes, you can do that stinger move in the air. And so in the air, the back with the secondary button is actually, it's kind of like hammer from DMC3, where it'll just kind of launch them down like that. And so that's it for the claw moves. Moving on to the Bolin then, the sword thing. You again have a 3-hit combo, but it's a little different. See, the Ender is this kind of launcher that hits multiple times. And you've got a high time. So, again, DMC, just back with the lock on back with the attack button, launches, and if you hold the button, you go up with them. And you also have a round trip. So if you're locked onto a target, your sword goes out, and then you switch back. So if you don't lock on, then it just kind of goes forward for a certain distance. But if you're locked on, it'll track the enemy. And so you can still use your claw moves while the sword is out like that. And so even if you launch them, the sword will track. And it'll just kind of keep them suspended like that. And so you do also have this kind of backdash move. It has some invincibility frames, and so it's kind of an evasive attack. And there's also, so you can use that in the air. You can use round trip. So with round trip, if you switch back to sword, so it'll automatically switch you to claw, but you just switch back to sword, and then that'll recall the sword. And oh yeah, Helmbreaker, which is it's actually Nero's input for Helmbreaker, where it's forward attack in the air. Yeah, and you do have, Aerial Rave. And you have, this is kind of like a Revolver, one of Dante's moves in DMC3. So it hits multiple times. It's kind of hard to actually hit multiple times with it, just because of the way that it. But yeah, that's the gist of it. You're also airborne for part of it, so you can also jump cancel it like that, and you can combo off of that in different ways. There's also this move which will pull enemies in, and it has a pretty big hitbox. And you can use it both on the ground and in the air. And that is, yeah, that's it for the sword moves. And so aside from that, yeah, you have a taunt, do a cute little stretch. See, there's also the oh yeah, you have a dodge and you have a teleport. So this is basically Trickster from DMC. You can dodge in whatever direction. You can just dodge forever on the ground, although in the air you only get one dodge until you either land or use enemy step. But there's also a teleport, so lock on forward dodge will teleport you toward an enemy. up to a certain distance. So if you're really far away, you might have to use it multiple times. You can only use it once in the air. So while you're on the ground, for example, if you use it, and then you're as soon as you use it, you're in the air, because you're always teleported above the ground. So you can use it twice, and then you have to land before you can use it again. So yeah, it's really just Dante's Trickster. And so you also have a shot button. So in lightning mode, it just shoots a bolt of lightning. You also have the forward shot button with lightning. Will do this sort of that, kind of like a ball of lightning. And you can use it in the air too. It's a little hard to combo into, but yeah, you can do stuff with it. You also have this big dumb lightning pillar that's back plus shot with lightning. And in the air it does this sort of burst. It has startup invincibility, and it just kind of hits all around. So it's a good evasive move for like just avoiding things, and also offensive. And see, there's also charge shot, so you can see it has that cheap lightning effect around the book when you start to charge. And it's basically, for lightning, it's basically Artemis from DMC3, where when you release it, you have those. So level 1 will launch a little bit and then release a little orb that tracks your target. Like that. Level 2 actually is 3 orbs. Like that. And it launches higher. And level 3, I think, is 7 orbs. Yeah, that's 7. So yeah, it's kinda just Artemis. Also, when you have a charge held, depending on the level, with lightning, hitting an enemy with a melee attack will also hit enemies that are in a certain range of that enemy. So it sends a bolt out to them. So that's kind of neat. Having a higher charge will make it go farther and do more damage. And so with ice, so it's more like shotgun. It sends a lot. It has a lot of hits, but also there's that little ice bomb that will freeze. So, but the ice shotgun, it'll launch when enough of them connect, but otherwise it just kind of, if only a few connect, it doesn't really do any hit stun. But if you're close enough and enough of them hit, then it'll do the thing. Now, so there's the forward shot with ice does that bomb. It'll freeze them for a second and then launch them back. Making another one while there's already one out will cause the first one to freeze. I mean, to explode. So you can do some setups with that. If I can do this right. Wait. Oh well. Wait. Oh well. Yeah, you can basically make one land on another bomb by doing that. It's a little bit difficult to do, but it's fun. Like that, yeah. And so the back version, oh, in the air it's a drill. So on the ground, you kind of, so you have this spike. You can see that little ice effect. It's kind of hard to see, but so the longer you hold the button, the farther the spike goes. So if I don't hold it and I just press it, it pops up right in front of me. But if I hold it longer, then it goes farther. And it will launch enemies toward me. It's kind of hard to combo with it, but again, it's doable. And yeah, the air version is a drill. Hits multiple times and will pull enemies into it. So that's kind of neat. Charge shot with the ice shotgun is... So, I mean, it's basically just... it does more damage and will freeze targets, so I hit him like that, it'll stay frozen for like 3 seconds. Also, the shotgun does a lot of damage because it's a lot of separate hits, and if all of them or most of them hit, it does a lot of damage. But yeah. So you can do that to multiple enemies. See, I froze both of them. And so while I have the ice charged, my regular attacks will also cause a little bit of freeze. So that introduces some interesting combo options. So it basically just adds extra hit stop. So you can probably do some neat stuff with that. Anyway, so I think that's about it for his moveset. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. But yeah, target switching uses the D-pad. So weapon switching is like DMC. Just use L2 for switching the book, and then R2 for switching your weapon. So I guess the reason I'm even making this game is just because unlike, so my other game, Wonders Abound, that I've been working on for a couple years, I want to do a lot with that, and it's kind of too much for me to handle right now. So I wanted to make something that can be smaller. So this game, the plan is to have something that's more just like maybe 6 stages, each with a few rooms and a boss fight. So nothing very big. So you're, again, just a witch's cat, and you're kind of exploring her mansion. And there are various spooky enemies in there, like ghosts, skeletons, and whatever. that is kind of what I have so far. I'm actually working on this with a friend, One Sanitarium. He's doing like he's helping with like playtesting and just combat design, various elements of the game design-wise. Though I'm still doing the modeling, animating, programming, all that. And yeah, sometimes they hit each other and it's kind of funny. So that's what I have so far on this project. I mean, I have no idea how long I'll be working on this. I would hope that it won't take too long for me to actually get something I can actually put out. I'm not going to upload a build for it anytime soon, just because it's right now even more unfinished than Wonders Abound, just because I mean, I'd like to at least make a proper level for it. So it'll be a while before I actually put out a downloadable prototype. Anyway, I guess that is all for now then. So yeah, just kind of wanted to talk about this in case anyone thought it might be interesting. Anyway, thanks for watching.